pitching setup. First things first, we want to make sure we choose a lofted club. So I have my sand wedge here. Next thing we want to do for a pitch shot, we want to choke down a little bit on the club. So you can see from this camera angle, I'm down probably about a ½ inch. We don't want to choke down too much, but just a little bit is fine. Then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get closer to the ball. So instead of being like this with a full swing, as you can see from this camera angle down here, we want to make sure that the club is a little bit more upright. So we're a little closer, and that's why we choke down. Now, this would be the setup for a pitch shot. Now, a chip shot, which we saw before, is even more upright. We don't want to be this upright, but just a little bit more upright than a full swing. So here's normal. Get a little bit closer and choke down on the club. Okay. The next thing you're going to notice is that the ball position is more in the middle of my stance, so not too far back. Okay. You'll also notice that my handle, or the shaft of the club, is fairly straight up and down to start. Now what we're going to do here is, you can see I have my feet started slightly open and my left foot a little flared. And you can really see that from that down the line camera, that everything's just a little bit flared off to the left. So opening meaning for a right-handed golfer, a little bit to the left. So now we got our setup, our ball position. We're choked down, we're a little closer to the ball. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sternum and we're going to move our sternum just a little bit in front of the ball to the front edge here. We don't want to be too far in front of this, but we want to be right on top or slightly in front with this pitch shot. Okay? And you can see what happens when I do this. I actually move everything, so everything moves in front. So I don't just necessarily push my hands in front of the ball. I let everything shift with me, okay? And that doesn't mean that I have to have my hands so far in front of the ball. The more I push my hands forward, the more it de-lofts the club, and vice versa. If I move it backwards, it increases the loft on the club, and we don't want to do that in a pitch shot. So let's just go over this one more time. We're going to choke down a little bit, okay, and move closer to the ball. We're going to put our feet a little closer than hip width apart. We're going to make sure our feet are a little bit open, okay, and our left foot a little flared to help with our pivoting. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our sternum and we're going to lean it a little bit forward, so everything's forward. And about 60% of my weight is on my lead foot. So not necessarily on the outside part of my lead foot, but just on the middle of my foot towards my heel. And that's going to get us through to our setup.